Osiris.
Started. All right,
we started. This is the start.
We are late. Yo, we gotta share this. We gotta share this with people. Like, we're doing it. Everybody's like, oh, those police heads forgot they had an episode.
We're new here. I'm not surprised that there's 0 people tuned in currently. That's cool. Take this time to warm up our voices,
so we could say anything we want. I was thinking they were here. They waited 7 minutes and said, "All right, I guess they're not doing it."
Like these guys forgot.
Oh, of course they're not.
Oh, baby, here we go.
They're like, this seems dumb. It seems dumb to watch this podcast with no one here. You know, no one here to actually broadcast the podcast, for example.
Cool. So,
anyway, for all of you listening to the recording of this live episode, thank you for starting it. A lot happens over the past weekend. We had 4 shows, right? In the Southeast.
4 shows. Huge weekend.
Yeah. They killed it, man. I mean, I only got to see one. I listened to the first one during like String Cheese Set Break, the Charleston show. Yeah, no, I felt like an asshole, like with one headphone in while everyone's talking and meeting new people. I'm like, no, I gotta watch the Pew stream, bro.
No, perfect, dude. It's your job now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I get paid a lot of money to listen to these streams.
For Joey's Chromebook.
I mean, it was huge, though. I mean, this was a massive weekend, a big 4-day run. New cities for the band, new festivals, a whole lot of new listeners, and like massive crowds.
Yeah,
I mean, like we'll dig into how many.
Like 25,000 people, you think?
Like we have there are 25,000 people watching right now.
We get a lot of people. Look, people don't realize how many people tune in for the lives.
That's it.
And and all the smart ones know we're gonna be 7 minutes late on a regular basis.
You know that like good old No Child Left Behind math curriculum. One of my favorite techniques was the guess and check method, which I believe was what was applied for the number of people at Sweetwater.
Oh yeah, it's like it may say there's like 3 people streaming on Facebook, but on YouTube we might have 24,997.
Absolutely,
you don't know.
And it's the social media technocrats that are obfuscating our numbers. I'm going to have it up. I'm going to have it up Zuckerberg unless he allows me to somehow burn down El Goose, not just like in the figurative sense, like literally physically go find the server and light it on fire, kick it while it's on fire, and spray propane on it while it's on, stuff like that.
For those of you non-tech savvy listeners, that means Bruce having a tough go and El Goose, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
when we were talking about numbers, it just a PTSD flashback came to mind from Sunday. So yeah.
So okay, numbers aside, and we will get there. We'll be back. Big weekend. Just a whole bunch of new folks. So let's start with Charleston. None of us were able to get to Charleston.
Unfortunately,
it was tough after last year. I just enjoyed Charleston so much. Last year, I just didn't go to bed. As a tourist, I was like, I want to soak in every last moment of Charleston. Yeah. And so, I learned the hard way and decided maybe to sit this one out. But they came back full force. Firefly Distillery. If you were there in the comments, let us know your initial impressions of Firefly Distillery. It looked like a beautiful place.
Yeah. Where's my boy? My boy Kieran was there. I don't know if he's in.
Oh, word. I remember running into Kieran after MSG at Fish on the night I went Friday and asked him, where's Joey Parisi? Where's our friend Joey Parisi? I don't know. He's off being like cool, talking to people, got lost in the mix, I don't know. He's seen now. Karen said all that verbatim. But yeah, shout out to Karen.
I'm sure.
And yeah, I mean that weekend last year from Charleston into Tennessee was just a great weekend. But Charleston's just such a beautiful city. So many great places to eat. It's walkable. It's really cool. And a lot of the properties were nice. The property of that Riverfront Park was really, really nice where they played last year. And Firefly Distillery looked like another cool place, kind of near the water. Really nice, field, open. Seemed like people had a lot of room. Really cool vibe. But yeah. Very excited that Resonance, by the way, is going to be down in Charleston.
Yes,
I was about to say, speaking of Charleston.
Can't wait to get back down there.
I know, because then that's going to provide us a few days to be down there, and I'm definitely still eagerly looking forward to hopefully in the coming years, Goose being down there for a 2 or 3 night run, because that would be absolutely epic and a ton of fun.
Right. I mean, I remember after last year, like saying they've got to come back for 2 nighs. They didn't. Nobody listens to us, of course.
No, I don't know why.
Let's talk about the set list, just because we kept our listeners waiting for a good 7 minutes. So, Flopener, love it.
Yeah,
always. What a way to start.
Had to make a couple adjustments. But
yes. I mean, it is, of course. They I guess tour opener or the start of a run, they seem to forget every song that they've written. So
we tune because we care.
Yes, exactly. That's one thing that they tell you when you start playing an instrument is you should tune it. So just tune it during the song. Why not? Whatever. Indian River. Tremendous.
Indian River. Yeah. When I was listening at home, it was Indian River has such a cool vibe now. And that's why I put some notes in here about helped Jeff moved a piano the other week.
Yes,
which was easier than it sounds. Thank God. Or
because I was there.
Now. Oh yeah, it was because of Greg. And anyway, while we're in the U-Haul, talking about all the mixed tempo songs, because I've always had these mixed feelings about those new tempos with Tumble and with Echo when they come out. And we were talking about how Rick likes to keep things fresh. And obviously, as any of these musicians, especially Goose, been playing a lot of the same songs for so many years. And they are great songs. It's easy to listen to them a lot, but when you're playing them, you're going to want to do something different. And Rick constantly tinkers with these songs. And Jeff was mentioning to me how he feels really good about Indian River now. And Indian River seemed to, after, kind of a short flow down with obviously some tone issues, they got really into the groove with Indian River right away. It kind of set the stage, I think, for the whole rest of the set and kind of the whole rest of the show. But Indian River definitely sounded good. And you could hear how comfortable they sounded in it. So after all that tweaking, and practicing, once you hit the right vibe, they can really take off. Yeah.
I mean, I think that sums it up. Although I do like the OG Indian River, it's like the standard, kind of Moon Cabin version, but it's certainly the river flows and it winds and bends.
I should say I wasn't just listening at home. I was listening at the home of Gong Gang leader Austin Gamby.
Yeah, our manager.
Shout out to Gamby. We did have a good night home tour, but yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, the old early show. Early show, late morning. Love it.
Big up 1-2 punch.
Yeah, you know how it goes. Start early, end early. But yeah, shout out to Gamby. Looking forward to playing some ping pong soon. Next up, Caution from the band that brought you Butter Rum. Caution by Bob Marley.
They do be appropriate in those kids.
That was appropriate. That was appropriate choice right there. That was a good. I love it. They do it well.
Yeah, they do. It's a great one of their great covers and an old cover too. Been covering that since the beginning, or at least since like 2015, 2016. Very, very early on. Gong Gang.
Yeah. So Caution, people, if you know. But I have seen some kind of crazy comments on the internet. Goose is just a white boy reggae band. Have you seen Caution, their song? And it's like, well, that's actually
easy.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the pseudo
for yourself? Goose already appropriated that.
Right. Come on, man. Yeah. Stop, dog. But love Caution. I had really, when I think about it, I've only seen a few of them over the years. It's been a long time since it was heavy in rotation.
I don't even remember the last one I saw live, to be honest. But yeah, it is a
they
rare
played
one.
in Philly? It was pretty recent, right?
Recent. Yeah.
That doesn't mean
Is Ryan Storm in the chat?
Yeah, we need
Can we
Ryan.
get some of the nerds?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm drinking a tall glass of
Madison.
the best cab you can get south of the border here, J. Lore.
J.
Check it
Lo.
out at the Publix. Yeah, they usually have deals for $9 or so a bottle. But yeah,
Madison, February 10th, and then
yeah.
Arabelo, which is what I was thinking of. That's where we heard it last.
Oh, okay.
Okay, got it.
Where? Tarrytown? Oh,
we went to Arabelo? Yeah.
we were there.
I was there.
Jeff called out Bruce, and he wasn't even there to hear it.
Yes. They called me out. People thought I was obnoxious. They were right.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot going on.
Go figure. Chalk it up.
Yeah.
Once in a while.
There was a lot going on. Time to Flee. Next up. Bruce, can you just read your notes on Time to Flee?
Good flea, but blazed out and didn't write notes. And Born, and I was like, Born, that's kind of what I came to and realized that we have a podcast I was supposed to be taking notes for. So,
Speaking of your notes, the Born, I see you mentioned that 2001 chap. They've been playing like tease. I don't even know if it's teasing, but it sounds like they're going into 2001 pretty much every time they play Born. And
dude,
I don't know what they're saving it for.
If they drop down into that, into that, Diodato's breakdown there, and then obviously that Fish Made Famous, but like, if they did that, it's all of a sudden been 2001 since they started the Born Jam. But since they just don't do that, they just don't go there. It's still Born. Again, we know how they like to lie, everybody. So it's just another fib from this band. It's appropriating songs all over the place, even Diodato. So there we go. It's still sick though, regardless. And I could listen to a lot of bands cover 2001 or play Born. As much as they want, because it is great. It's a great tune, great jam out of that.
I mean, it's a 2-for-1 deal. Get a good indie tune and Born, and then the 2001 jam. Why not?
2001. Okay, great, perfect. Sign me up.
It's kind of funny. Like, think about how many fans were born in 2001.
Too many.
Yeah, well, I don't want to think about that with my birthday coming up. Sad.
Making me some lobster. So next up, Dr. Darkness, obviously Bruce Robinson's story, we know. And set 1. So set 2, coming in hot with just like the classics.
Coming in with the classic, yeah. I was kind of shocked to hear just a regular Tumble open up the set. But happy.
No slumble, no tumble. Just a good old-fashioned Tumble. Getty, like, off the charts. I don't know. I don't really know how to describe Lights.
He's the MVP of every show.
The shining light.
It often seems like it. It's so consistently good. But that was when, obviously, with the daytime set starting, the afternoon set starting, and how he was working the lights against the back screen of the stage was good during the daytime set. There's only so much you can do, but it was nightfall at that point. It had gotten dark, and that Tumble was like really off the hook. And that's really, really when I noticed Getty a lot, and he'd done a lot of very tasteful things with the lights at this Charleston show. I was really impressed with some of the new stuff that he brought to the table, but we started to see a lot of it in Tumble. Plus the Tumble was sick too. It's just always, I just love Tumble. And again, talking about these songs I've heard a million times and Rick's played a million times, I can hear Tumble for the rest of my life. It's a great song, always a great jam. And it's such a good way to open a set. Again, like, just like ever since that Indian River, just setting themselves up, for a good vibe and a good energy throughout the show. And then I was thinking during that too, when we were sitting there with Gamby, I was like, in my head, at Creatures, that would be sick after this, because the Tumble was kind of aggressive, a little bit more rock, fast paced. And I was like, Creatures would be very cool. And I just thought they weren't going to bring out another heavy hitter like that. And sure enough, I'm usually right. And then we got a Creatures. As always, dude, I know. Joey's laughing because it always happens.
If he didn't run Fantasy Goose, he'd be winning Fantasy Goose.
Oh, he doesn't run Fantasy Goose.
I quit Fantasy Goose because it was so easy. I gotta let the other people win some eggs or whatever they win. I don't know what they win.
Remember we were gonna give out a belt for the champion?
No, the belt still exists. We're gonna do that.
We make a lot of plans.
I got these prizes out. Creatures was fire. Great classic Creatures, but segue into Rosewood, which, like, you know, give me some Moon Cabin tunes. You know, Rosewood's my favorite. Bruce, talk about the color palettes.
Oh, well, yeah. Like, I was just really watching Getty a lot during this Charleston stream. And I mean, kind of in part because, you know, John with his video directing, he's taken a noticeable step forward with this run of a few shows, and he was only doing these first two. And so when you get those straight on shots of what Getty's doing with the lights, it's really great. And he was doing some good stuff with overlay where you could still see what Getty was doing pretty clearly. And Getty had this blue and pink and purple kind of palette going most of Tumble and Creatures. And he was doing cool things with, like, you know, these geometric shapes on the background as well, but all of in that same color palette. And then this was the only time he kind of switched it up. It was almost like a pinkish, yellowish kind of hue. And again, I was just so focused in on what he was doing from home, because, you know, it's just so easy to see. You can focus in on whatever you want, really, in terms of the streams, you know, when you're not at the show. So I thought it was interesting that he finally changed it up, but he did go back to the blue, purple, and pinks quick. And I mean, those are my favorite colors. So I was happy about that. But yeah, I just noticed that there because it was just starkly different from what he had been doing. And it was interesting that he was kind of keeping the same theme throughout, but it works with the songs. He always fits the songs very well. It's one of the things that makes Getty so good at this.
Yeah.
So we have 7 minutes to recap 3 shows before
Let's go.
comes on. Let's get it. All right. So good thing most of them were daytime sets. So Bruce won't be as focused on the color hues, and we can dig into the music. But Charleston closed out with Arrow, Magic Carpet Ride, Gabagool, Encore, Magic Carpet Ride. Thank you guys. Gabagoose.
And one thing I will say is that segue from Arrow, where they left the stage, left the repeaters running, and had this, you know, the weird tones going, and then led right into Magic Carpet Ride when they came back out. I really like that. Very tasteful.
Yeah. They've been messing around with those, like, delay and looping pedals, whatever it is. It sounds really cool. When they get down low, you know, Rick gets on his knees. It gets weird.
I love it.
I knew
Asheville, baby, Asheville. Night 2 of the run. Bruce, what are you in a gator sandwich down there?
Bacon, lettuce, tomato, classic.
Perfect trio. Our manager.
Just thinking about Rick on his knees. I'm sorry.
Our manager doesn't like BLTs, but I'm a huge fan. Asheville, North Carolina. Opener, Echo Rose. Wait, well, first of all, Salvage Station. I was saying this, I think, the last live we had. There were so many missed Asheville shows. It felt like, or maybe it was just, that was like one of the ones that was supposed to happen right after the world shut down in 2020. I feel like anticipation has been building in Asheville for a long time. Had the Waynesville show, drive-in, 40 minutes outside Asheville. Good to be at Salvage Station in the city proper, opening up with Echo Rose.
Yeah.
Fast Echo. I've heard a lot of funny names for it, but I just think it's fast. I don't know. I'm dumb. I don't know music, but I'm just like, oh, Fast Echo. People have called it indie. I mean, Jeff called it indie echo. I think that's like kind of what he thinks of it as. I don't really, as much as I hear indie overtones in a lot of other songs, I don't hear it as much in that. But again,
I think of it like clavy echo. Like Peter really gets on that wall, like it gets deep. Bouncy echo. I like that.
Yo, John Lev understands, dude. BLT, CBD. God, there's so many good 3-letter acronyms. Hell yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, BLT plus CBD. Man, yeah.
And you wonder why we run out of time to recap shows.
That's why I'm so relaxed all the time.
Yes. We're so settled into, well, I mean, hopefully our guests are on our schedule and they'll be 7 minutes late. After Echo Rose, Jive 1. Poppin' always.
Jive 1, Jive Lee. That's my thing. That's I'm team. Well, I'm team Jive Lee, of course. But if you got to get one to go into it, I don't know. Sometimes I like Jive too. Did you write
in the notes that Jive 1 to Jive Lee is the classic 1-2 punch?
I actually did. I I love that saying, classic 1-2 punch. We've heard it a lot today, as you'll hear it a lot throughout these podcast episodes. But
it's a good saying. But what about Jive 2?
Yeah, it's literally not a 1-2
It's a
punch.
1-2. Yeah,
it's like the 2-1. It's like
it's it's a 1 Lee.
Invert.
1 Lee punch. A good little 1 Lee combo.
Yeah, it's kind of like old Street Fighter kind of combos, but it's just they played it as a band, and we have it documented in elgoose.net around 25 times, and I'm certain that they played it closer to 35 over the years. It's always been a classic sandwich there, if you will. But then Jive 2 has been kind of overtaking it. The Jive 2 into Lee over the last year seems to take predominance over that. So good to see. I mean, it's just a lot of energy. So hitting with the fast echo, Jive wanted to Jive Lee, and then Madhavan, they're kind of continuing the same theme from the second set of Charleston, just playing the hits, keeping the energy high, keeping the vibe going, and, keeping the lights going.
Dude, that Madhavan jam was litany.
Absolutely sick.
I don't know what I have to do to get a funky Madhavan again, though.
My God.
That's St. Louis. St. Louis 2019. That was my favorite show.
That's not the last one that they've done, is it?
No, Goosemas from the Roof.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's necessarily the last one. The most recent I can remember.
That might have been.
Where's our nerds? Nerds, when's the last Madhavan?
Nerds, go.
Yeah, nerds, activate. So following Madhavan, Sinnerman, second time live, nerds, Sinnerman, Nina Simone cover.
Second? Third? It was definitely Goosemas.
It was the second or third?
No, it's got to be at least the third.
It was Goosemas and then Philly?
This is what people listen for is info.
Yeah. Us to figure it out live. Yeah, Philly.
Imagine if we prepare. I'm sorry.
We don't imagine those things.
What is this, a performance review? No.
Yeah, really.
So really good Sinnerman from the band that brought you Caution by Bob Marley. Sinnerman by Nina Simone. Set 2, Hashville. Wisteria. Love that for a set 2 opener. Let's explore.
There's nothing else to
It's our theme song, dude.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We jacked the title from Trevor, but I mean, again, it's just about setting up the good sets. Like, it's kind of been a theme, and it's just a great way to set up the vibe for the second set. I don't know, it's hard to hear a bad Wisteria now. Plus, they don't play it as often, so it's kind of nice to catch when you're out one of these runs of shows. So, good choice there. And then kind of spooky and spacey towards the end, and then into another kind of reminiscent of the Fast Echo a little bit, the way their cover of "I'm Writing a Novel" sounds, and it's another great cover.
Yeah, it's bouncy too. You're right, it's a bouncy tune.
Yeah, it is. Little funky, little bouncy,
little misty.
Yeah, but then. This was a lot of what I'd heard from people as a highlight. I got to listen to the whole Redbird today. And it was definitely a good one, man. And I just think, I don't know, recently I saw some people commenting on the way Peter still sings. And I just, they just don't listen, because that's not an easy song to sing. There's a lot of tone changes that happen, kind of awkward timing in that. And I think Peter's given himself the probably toughest song to perform that he's written. Maybe arguably, but I think he's performed it better and better every time. And the jams are always so cool. The way that those vocal rounds set up the jam, it just brings them into a different space than most of their other songs.
Yeah, that and Silver Rising too, like those kind of vocal layerings that they do at the end. I mean, and then all of a sudden it reaches this peak, they meet in the middle, and then it goes right in the jam. It's really cool.
It's really nice, yeah. And I mean, it's only because they're skilled singers that they're able to do that stuff.
Yeah, and they have Jeff singing. That's the key.
Yeah, yes. I noticed that in the Redbird. It was Jeff coming in from the back is great. And that's hard. You get 3 of them singing around there while you're doing that buildup. But it definitely sets a cool mood and a cool atmosphere for them to jam out after that.
Oh yeah.
Next up, 726, Casual Ballad. Love it.
I love
bring a tear to my
it's the perfect spot for it.
Yeah. Well, it's tough, I mean, I'm I kind of had to wrap my mind around it at first. I think as I was adjusting to it, being more consistent in the catalog. Like I'm a big energy set two kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I don't like any I don't like anything to slow my momentum, unless it's 726.
I mean, I just think I kind of agree with Joey though there too, because like it's just if you're there in the moment, you know, you've been raging. Now you're in the second set, and you've gotten a couple big heaters with Wisteria Lane, and you know, Rick and Peter kind of went at I'm writing a novel pretty hard in their solos, so there was a lot of energy. And then Redbird was a crazy transcendent jam, and then you finally get a little bit of a cool down towards the end, towards the back half of the second set, which is always like a place that I kind of liked it. You know, from seeing shows in the past, it just has to be, you know, you can't slow it down too much. Sometimes you don't want to necessarily follow it up with two slow songs, for example, but you know, it's all a game of feeling it out. And I think 726 fits in there really well with the vibe that they already had going for that set. And then especially because you're rolling in from Redbird to 726 to Dripfield, which is another kind of high energy, kind of intense song. You know, the drum line just sits off like that.
Yeah, for sure. Dripfield, I love where it's going live. It's super cool.
Yeah. All three of the new tracks that they've singled out from the album, I love live. You know, I know a lot of people are going to question Born. Felt like that always could fit the live setting well, but all three of those songs are taking a life of their own and definitely take center stage a lot of the time when they play them now. Really great.
So I think what we should do
Slow
talk
Ready
about the encore.
Yeah.
No, Slow Ready. No, whatever.
Slow Ready,
We've talked about Slow Ready
yeah.
a million times. So you all know Slow Ready, right, listeners?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
You've heard about it. You've heard Slow Ready.
Greg's team Slow Ready.
I'm team So Ready.
So Ready. Bruce is Slow Ready.
I'm slow.
Well,
I'm slow.
What a perfect segue here. Varvel Art said Ben tattooed my spine again. Didn't even know that. Thought he was just a drummer. So we've got some very special guests on today. A band.
Do we?
Some of you may know. Some of you may know after this. A band called Elephant Proof. And they're hitting the road next week for a few shows. Next Thursday at the Relics Studio, streaming exclusively on Twitch at 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by Putnam Place in Saratoga Springs, New York, on next Friday, the 13th, lucky day, featuring Annie in the Water, upstate New York, Goats, our homie James Woods on bass, and then coming back
Matt Richards
home
on keys for Annie in the Water, too.
Ooh, Matt Richards on keys as well.
Yeah, shout out to Matt. Yep.
If you know, you know, Formula 5.
Fire,
and then Saturday, the 14th of May, Park City Music Hall in Bridgeport, Connecticut. The Black Rock, Connecticut. I'm going to stop talking. We're going to bring the band on now.
It's good. You did a good job.
To them.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yo, what up?
Oh.
Good great beyond. Wow.
Dude, you guys all got in one spot. How do you do that?
It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I like it.
Good.
You're conserving mic space for us and video space, so I appreciate that.
I'm making it
First
easy.
big.
I'm over here on the
Thank
Shade
you.
Lounge, and I'm
we got somebody on the Shays back there?
Yeah, just usually the dog's spot. He sits here majestically, and I'm sitting here more like a, small seal.
I was going to say,
I was going to say like a Greek aristocrat, you know? They kind of like recline to eat. So, yeah. But anyway. Yeah.
So for those
isn't a
app
history.
listeners we have that have been following us for over a year now, thank you. You may recognize that voice from the man on the Chevy Chase Lounge. That is Sean Cronin, who was a previous guest on our episode called Elephant Proof. That was released last year before Fred the Festival.
was a great title.
We've got Elephant Proof here, and we've got a few questions. We're going to source the first question from one of our good friends, Cam Elkins, friend of the podcast, Ohio, Weird Music. Is Elephant Proof an alcohol reference or question mark?
Ooh, well, no, but maybe.
you can give the whole story.
Okay, so the story of how we named the band is kind of silly, inside jokey. Honestly, the name is not that could, but the joke meant a lot to us at the time. So we were like, Gordo and I, we had our original drummer, we were a trio. He now plays with Chadwick Stokes from Dispatch. Great drummer named Sean Riley.
State Radio also.
Yes, he's also on State Radio. He got another gig, and he was kind of unable to keep doing gigs with us, and we had recently met Ben. Anyway, so we were doing the gig as a trio, and I was feeling good that night. You know, some nice trinkets I had acquired. It was a great evening.
Love acquiring trinkets. Yeah,
yes, big trinket crew.
Yeah, I love trinkets. Yeah.
So what was it? I was talking about this pool cover, right? Like a winter pool cover, and it's like extra strength. And the picture on the cover was an elephant standing on it, and I was like, that thing's like elephant proof. And the guys were like, yeah, like band name.
Sometimes all it takes is a simple, beautiful, magical moment like that.
And pretty dumb. Really,
the rest
it's true. Yeah.
Is that your approach to songwriting as well? Like, do you go to Home Depot and you're like, man, we should just play this store song?
Okay, no. It was like a viral video, and like everyone was like filming their dads like mowing the lawn, like dad time, and then they would have like the Home Depot song on, or like somebody doing like a super minor repair on their house, and they'd have the Home Depot song.
Dude, it fits.
It went viral, and I laughed every time I saw a video where the Home Depot song came on. And I was like, you know what though? This is legit. This bangs.
Yeah.
No one else
is
out there like stretching out and jamming out the Home Depot theme song.
Neither should we really. We gotta stop.
No.
Oh no, you definitely should. No, you better at least about the place.
We've promised it to a lot of people.
So for our listeners, because I can't unbelievably, we have some. Maybe you guys would want to go around the room and just give a quick introduction of yourselves. Maybe what instrument you guys play too. So we could start with you, Ben. I guess whatever. Everybody knows who the fuck Ben is, but
I'm Ben Atkin. I play interpretive jazz flute in a Yam band called Goose.
Very well. You play very well as well.
And drums and other things.
And singing.
Lots of singing. No singing in Elephant Proof. I promise you that. So
yes.
Already enticing. So just waiting for Doc here. We got to move on to the Doc. I'm excited.
I'm Chris. Some people call me Doc. Yeah, and I play keyboard.
Dude, that's excellent. It's perfect.
Sorry, I'm as eloquent as Ben.
Yeah. Was Ben eloquent?
So I'm the other Sean of the band, and I play the Barracuda fish.
Oh, it's a great instrument.
It's pronounced fish, though.
Fish.
Yes.
What does the other Sean play?
Guitar. I don't know what you guys are playing over there, but I don't know. I haven't seen those instruments.
I've seen people rip a mean barracuda fish, so I'm
slapping the barracuda fish,
whacking the dumb long fish. Yeah, it's great.
So
do we
I guess
have other better questions?
Yeah, the last time we spoke, we were talking about the album that had come out and the upcoming shows. So now that you guys have played a couple of those shows, obviously, like first was Fred, and then opening for Pigeons. Did it feel weird getting back on stage together, or take a little time? You feel like improvement and feel like these upcoming shows are going to be, something else?
It felt awesome. We got to get like another extra long practice session in for a couple of days too, and it felt really good going in. And it was kind of, it's funny being back in that, the opening in the big room situation. It's such a scramble to get all the gear on stage and get everything plugged in and get going. And it was a scramble, and I was nervous. And then we came out, and it felt like old times. It was awesome. And now I got the guys here for another few days, and we're working on some new stuff and tightening up the sets, and we're feeling pretty excited for what's going up.
Oh, nice.
Do you think
Excellent.
there was some like any kind of additional significance to being able to come back and play that first indoor show in Boston?
I think so. I've played the stage like maybe twice in my career, but they're both kind of smaller shows. They weren't even like real shows. That was the first time I've like really played House of Blues, and I've seen all of my legends, like all of my favorite musicians on that stage. Like I saw D'Angelo on that stage.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
come on. I also saw Meshuggah on that stage. I don't even know where to start.
All across the musical spectrum.
Yeah, two very different artists.
Why Elephant Proof is the perfect mix of D'Angelo and Meshuggah.
That's
You take the middle of that.
That's not far from what we're actually going for at all. That's pretty close. But yeah, Lettuce is my favorite band, and I've seen them there a million times. I hung out with them on stage last time. It was a great time.
Oh yeah.
So to that point, I think what I experienced at Elephant Proof shows is a wide variety of music from hardware store jingles to really hard hitting jazz, complex time, but also accessible T-Pain. And I don't want to give away your answer necessarily, but thank you, Dondo. Who would you guys cite as your influences?
You guys remember what we used to say was Chromeo meets 9 Inch Nails.
That is odd. Yeah, I
But
can hear
I
that.
don't know if that still applies. I don't know. What do you guys think?
We all have our separate influences, and trying to bridge that gap, I think, is what makes it unique in what we're trying to do. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. I think Gordo brings that dark evilness, a lot of weirdness
So cute.
in the best possible.
I
And then
agree.
with a mix of like different jazz fusion, the hip hop, R&B stuff. I don't know. I think it's like a fun outlet musically for all of us to explore and have some fun.
I also like the fact that there's no rules at all.
Yeah.
There actually are.
Anything is on
I've
the
been trying to tell you.
Oh, here comes the publicist with the rules. Like,
Sorry, yeah, my bad.
we do not care about the jazz police. They can fuck off.
Yeah, no, all jazz cops are bastards. We can say that all the time.
We've got a huge beef with jazz cops here at the Great Beat.
Yeah.
So this one is from She Does My Stocks, namesake of Generation. And what sort of creative muscles do you get to flex in Elephant Proof that you really can't do in Goose? And what muscles do you have left?
It's a different vibe of things. It's kind of like brings me back to the stuff I was really into back in college, before I ever got into the jam stuff. All like the really tight, intricate music with crazy hits and like figuring out how to take all the rhythmic options within a very specific, set of rules and trying to navigate this complicated material. And not to say that Goose doesn't have that, because some of the stuff we play in Goose is definitely very technical. But I don't know, the way this stuff is kind of built and arranged and put together, it's just, it kind of just scratches a little bit of a different itch musically.
Would you say Butter Rum is the most technical song you play in Goose?
Honestly,
sorry, I'm sorry.
I would sing on that every time. Well, maybe not every time because people would hate me, but I would sing on that more. But I don't, because it's a really tough beat, and I don't have like even a second to grab the mic and pull it out.
Yeah. Keep that salsa going. Go keep those people
You
dancing.
often don't have more than a second to pull it out. Too. It's crazy how that works. But no,
We're
I
live.
have no idea what you're talking about.
Anyway, this is the nighttime edition.
There's no edits on this episode. Awesome.
So,
Joey, you can ask a serious question.
Yeah. I prepared so much for it. Doc, what's your rig setup on the keys? You have, was it organ? Anything else?
You guys got a minute?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. Run down it.
It's always evolving. We're doing some different things now, so I've got some more gear for some stuff that we do through Click, so it's a little different.
Running back in tracks,
which we don't don't do.
No, it's, I mean, it's a thing. It's like that DJ. That's fine.
But yeah, I like to have like all the different actions. I like to have a weighted keyboard, a keyboard with some organ feel. So I have 2 Nords, one for each.
Okay.
I have a Modi X, Yamaha Modi X for all the synth stuff. And then I have another sub 37 analog synthesizer. And yeah, it's all of them.
That's
Nice.
just
Take notes, Ryan Storm.
Sub 37 for like bass, like P bass.
Yeah.
Anyway, he doesn't do that. It's fine.
So Sean
Because you have a
Gordon,
bass.
Sean Gordon,
Yes.
without asking the rest of the band, paint a picture for us of where you'd like to see Elephant Proof be in the next few years.
I would like to be playing some huge venues. I want to be, I don't know, I want to travel the world.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
I hope that we can maybe at some point like go to Japan or like play a bunch of festivals or do like a festival run.
Dude.
Some weird late night shows.
I'm all
Yeah,
down
I got to say real quick, these guys are some of the most known and respected musicians in Boston and gig all the time, like with this scene of people that is some of the most top-notch musicians. But I'm really excited for them to get out and like the jam scene and people across the country to see these guys and play because they are easily some of the best people I've played with. So we're going to have some fun with this group.
Yeah, dude. And you mentioned late night sets. Like you guys, like just from A, hearing the album and then B, seeing the late night set at Fred, like, man, like it's tailor made for end of the night. You just want to get dark and weird and, go into a deep, dark forest and, middle of Virginia.
Keep an eye out because there may be some late night shenanigans coming up.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were going to say keep an eye out for me in the dark forest at night, but yeah,
Everyone should always do that.
same thing.
Know that.
Good to keep your head level, in those situations. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to late night. It'll definitely be and playing in Japan. Oh, hi, Micah. She's saying hi, Ben. Oh, Jesus. But playing in Japan would be a far cry from the first videos that Ben showed me, you guys, when he was getting a little excited about getting the group back together, man. And some of those videos on YouTube of you guys playing basement parties, I was like blown away at the time. And those are from 2014. So definitely when Ben was telling me that, and when you guys were able to play, the late night of Fred and this first show of Pigeons, it's the excitement is palpable, man. And a lot of the fans are hearing it too and really liking it. So excited to see what you guys bring to the table, Putnam Place, and to Bridgeport, because that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very much looking forward to those shows.
Hell yeah.
That's crazy. You checked out that basement party show? I have.
Yeah.
If you want to hear what we sounded like back then, check that show out. Aside from, I remember that night we didn't have a set list. But we've been playing together enough so that we could actually improvise some of those transitions on the spot. And that's what we did that night. And dude, it was the wildest fucking house party to ever go down.
So we're gonna recreate those
sick.
On the 13th and 14th with your help. If all you guys come out, we're gonna have a good time. We're pumped for it. The Relics live stream on Thursday the 12th, and then Putnam Place up in Saratoga, Park City.
That's my birthday, the 12th. So I expect some big things.
Yo, let's go, bro.
Are you going to be there hanging with us?
I mean, well, no, Greg didn't invite me. Greg just invited Joey today. And I was like, dude, what the fuck's the deal?
I got
You're invited. You're invited officially.
Oh, well, thank you.
It'll be the unofficial Bruce Robinson birthday party.
He's probably got a birthday thing going on where he's going to go to a strip club.
No, he doesn't.
No. I'm completely abstinent and asexual now, so I don't go to strip clubs.
My man. Yo, over there.
Yeah, dude. Oh, definitely, dude. Asexuality all day. It just saves me money, I've just been on austerity measures for a while. So
Everyone be sure to post an El Goose birth.
Yes, for sure. So,
let's not remember that.
we have like you guys released EP last year before Fred. That was a solid collection of a lot of songs that were written almost 9 years ago, and so looking ahead and knowing that schedules are complicated, and frankly, the older I get, the less creative I am. Do you see yourselves writing more music, debuting new songs?
No, I'm all done actually.
See, I'm saying I agree, dog. Let's retire.
Yeah, wrap it
Release
up.
that greatest hits album.
Yeah, no, actually, we were talking about this earlier. So far in the return of the band, we've kind of had to rehearse in order to get ready for these sets specifically. But we're definitely carving out some time after these shows just to get together for the purpose of just jamming and songwriting.
Actually, you know what? Right before this, we were joking, Gordo and I. We don't write songs; we just rewrite our own songs. Literally, we've played each of our songs in like a different key, a different music genre. Like we'll change the key of a song so that it'll fit the song that went before it.
Ah, I see.
And sometimes
like
we'll play our own songs in different styles, and then we'll write these transitions that like bridge the song together that become their own song. So that's my excuse for why we haven't put more music out, first of all. Because
it's also
we're just writing these absurd
we have
permutations of our own music.
We have it helps to have an outlet, obviously. So at least for me, and I think maybe Gordon too. I don't know. Just like it's been easier to like focus in and like put some stuff together, write some new stuff. Because
Talk about that new song you
We got
just showed
stuff.
us.
Oh yeah, so we're gonna be debuting a new song that I wrote at the Relics show. And
Oh, hell yeah.
Bruce's birthday show.
Yeah.
Come on.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, that EP album, I was playing outside some stupid little deli in Wilton, and this old lady walked by my car. I'm just like sitting there waiting for my egg sandwich. And she was like, "What is that music you're playing?" I'm like, "Oh, you mean this dark clown music?" And she was like, "Yeah, it's really good." And I was like, "Oh, well, it's my friends."
Yes!
I was like, "Yo, this old woman gets down." I was like, "Yo, you want to hit this J?" She was like, "Yeah." But it was incredible, and it's just some of that stuff that you guys are saying about how you mix all these different styles and so much of that album in a very short span covers a lot of ground, so it definitely is also making me excited to hear some of the new stuff that you guys will come up with, especially after being able to play again together. That means a lot too. And once you guys get to click more again, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what you can come up with. And it's so different than what we see out there on the scene too, Yeah.
In the words of Luke Beeman, you practice a little bit, a couple of years, 2-3 years, you'll be playing Putnam Place. One step at a time.
It's Luke Beeman. Hi, Luke Beeman.
One of our famous guests a couple weeks back. This question's from Colin. So Colin's wondering what new music you guys are digging right now. What's in your cassette deck?
Otis McDonald.
all day.
We do a cover of an Otis McDonald song, "Crazy Wasted Tame It."
Okay.
That's one we've done a couple times. Such a banger.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
That's Ronald's second cousin, right?
Yeah, Ronald.
This is was that a joke?
I think
You interrupted the band for this.
that was fact checking.
Stop. Otis McDonald is really sick. I've been listening to a lot of Tennyson.
Yes.
And also what else? Can't think of the name right now. Yeah, we'll just call it Tennyson.
Oh yeah, and Brothers Johnson.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So hard. Oh my god.
Lady Chris.
Wheels in the Bus.
Baby Shark.
Funny because he's not lying.
Yeah,
He's
it
literally
Pepper Frog.
Bangers.
Bangers, slappers only.
Just gas.
Twinkle Twinkle.
Oh yeah,
Dude, speaking of children's song, the Couch does a great cover of Conjunction Junction.
Ooh, really?
Every single day I listen to that song.
Oh yeah.
That's a Bang. Yo.
I mean, that's not really a children's song. That's more of a like middle school.
Yeah, that's
No.
advanced.
I mean, I guess
Working up
if
words and phrases and clauses. Yeah.
you grow up with a Connecticut
He's
education, I
got it
guess.
in him too.
Yo.
I know.
Well, excuse me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know
Sorry, I know what
conjunction.
conjunctions are, Joey.
My bad.
I don't.
So Ben, what about you? What are you listening to besides selections from Drip Sales?
I've been listening to Corey Henry put out a new album pretty recently. That is awesome,
Yeah.
and I got to see them actually live for the first time. They were on the same stage as us in Beale Street, and that was incredible. Just 3-piece band, and then 2 female backup singers that were badass. And it was awesome.
Awesome. Were you able to catch Megan Thee Stallion at Beale Street?
I was not. No, I was pretty much stuck over. Our stage was like a
You had to play like
cluster
Goose
of
music.
gear, and we didn't even get to sound check, but we all like we're just like stuck hanging around waiting for everything. But silver lining is like when you're dealing with gear and Corey Henry is playing right there, it's not the worst way to deal with gear.
Yeah.
Not one of your worst loadout moments.
No, well, loading out was a Modest Mouse and Weezer. That was a fun day.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
then Lil Wayne canceled. He couldn't make it. I guess private jet problems.
Oh, those problems. Yeah, they happen to me all
Yeah.
the time as
Yeah,
well.
so we all feel horrible for him, dealing with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang. Shout out to Wayne.
Really
He
kills
makes
your
it through this
plan.
difficult time.
Yeah, pour one out, Sean.
Yes. Yeah.
For a
All right. Let's wrap this thing up because we've got to recap 2 more shows. We're being very long-winded today. So Elephant Proof, catch them next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, Relics, Friday, Putnam Place, Saratoga, Saturday, Bridgeport, Connecticut.
And come early too, because Annie in the Water. We got Matt Richards from Formula 5, so that automatically makes Annie in the Water like even more epic. They're already awesome, but Matt Richards, super bonus. And then Jed at Park City. We got we got Jeff, Kieran, homies, awesome people. Come early.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and if anyone hasn't checked out those Relic streams yet, they're pretty sick. Like they get pretty intricate with like the camera work and everything. And your guys' music, like the light show that's going to come out of that, I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see what the guys at Relics have.
Oh yeah.
Good things. I can't wait to see it.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah,
thank
looking
you for
forward to
having
it.
us. Appreciate it. Guys.
Yeah. Thank you guys for
Thanks
being
for
on.
coming on.
Yeah, thank you guys for sure.
A year from
See how
now,
many people
we're doing
stick around for our recap of Sweetwater.
the other 2 shows. That's right. All right. Elephant Proof. Thank you. We'll see you guys next week. We love you guys.
Yeah, I'll see you guys.
Later.
Very excited for next week. All right,
all right.
drop the shit out of them.
Thank you, Elephant Group. Thank you guys for joining. All right, so let's all take a deep breath here. Let's all take a deep breath. We're not done yet, listeners. We're not.
Yeah, we still have giveaways.
You got
Giveaways.
more of us to deal with. Let's do a giveaway. Bruce, what do we got today?
Let's do a
No,
fucking giveaway.
no. They have to stay for the giveaway. Otherwise,
Okay,
they're
we're
gonna
not
leave.
doing a giveaway.
Oh, we're not doing a giveaway.
Do we have more than one giveaway?
Stick around for a giveaway.
No, I think
If we have more than one, we
one.
could do one now and then one later.
No, dude, what do you think? We're made of giveaways here, Joey?
Yeah, come on.
Still on
Yeah.
our dime here. Come on.
All
but we
right,
just
so
care
let's talk
about
about let's talk about Sweetwater. All right. If you are still in the chat, still rocking with us, still support the Great Beyond after all this nonsense, tell us if you were at Sweetwater.
I was at Sweetwater.
One of the 25 million people watching.
And the trivia question is how many gumballs were in the jar at Sweetwater for the goose day?
How many gumballs could you fit in each person's pocket at Sweetwater? If you were there in the chat, let us know your favorite moment from Sweetwater. Joey, you were a field reporter.
I
Tell us
was.
a little bit about what you experienced.
The whole weekend or just at the set?
I mean, we should start with the sets because, you know,
right.
we do the weekend.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we'll do the weekend. I don't know. If I see you at a show, ask me how it was. I'll tell you about the weekends. This set was great. A lot of anticipation coming in. Spafford was on right before them. I'm sorry, not Spafford. Spafford. Jesus
Was it
Christ, it was a
up
long
for him?
weekend. So if you're in the chat and you know who played before Goose,
It was Spafford.
it was Spafford. Yeah, it was Spafford because they played on Thursday too, so it's throwing me off. But yeah, Spafford played an incredible set before them. A lot of people were there. A lot of people were there early, trying to camp out a spot for Goose. So I'm happy everyone got to see Spafford if they didn't intend it. I mean, a lot of people did because a lot of people were feeling it. And talking to people on the beer line, like some of the people's first time seeing them, they absolutely killed it, man. And they're really getting into that just vibe of we jam the hell out of songs. And that's what they do. And I love it, man. But anyway,
we had some friends who are just as an aside, big Spafford fans, and there's been some, discourse in their community, I suppose, about some of the, sole focus on jamming a lot, especially with some of the fall shows where they were jamming one song the whole set, And I think there was some mixed feelings about some of that recently, and they played a local show that I think some people had some mixed feelings about that I skipped, but I wanted to go because the last time I'd seen Spafford was right before the pandemic hit in 2020, and it was a fantastic show at Brooklyn Bowl. So I'm happy to hear that. I was happy to hear that they were really getting glowing reviews, and they came out and crushed Sweetwater. With all those people there, such a good opportunity to crush it. So, definitely happy to hear some good stuff coming out of that crowd and that community for them, especially because they do rip, and if you do want to hear improvisation, pure improvisation, that's what you're going to get,
Yeah. I also saw a million people I thought was Coach, and
love it.
Sadly yelling obscenities at them, and they didn't get it. Anyway, so the set started. Ari Fink came on stage, and his mic didn't work. It was a great moment of comedy and hilarity for all of us in the crowd. And then the band came on and ripped Hot Tea to just let you know that it's a hot weekend down here in Atlanta. I burned the hell out of the backs of my calves really bad, to the point where I was wearing pants on Saturday because I couldn't face the sun.
That's embarrassing.
It was terrible. Because, we're up in the north, and I'm like, oh, yeah, legs don't burn. That's fine. I don't have to put on sunscreen. Yeah. No. But, dude, that Hot Tea, it took a lot of us by surprise, because a lot of us are thinking of the classic openers of, me and my buddies wanted Earthling. All right. Bye, Greg. And
Greg's like, fuck it. Greg goes on and over, and Bruce's like, fuck this. And I was
but dude, that Hot Tea absolutely ripped. And you heard the Peter poll that a lot of people's first show was this show. So to get a Hot Tea opener, I'm sure it brought a lot of that new Southern crowd in, and hearing a song that they know, obviously, could hook them for life right there.
And dude, it was funny because obviously there's been, and if we just jump right into it, there was a lot of mixed reviews about the set this weekend. And I think there's a lot of different expectations that people have when they come to see Goose, especially when Goose has been firing on all cylinders for the last year and a half. And I don't think that's disputable, but when you come to a festival like this, there's a ton of new people that are going to be there and be able to see you. You have to make certain choices that sometimes just don't always work out. I mean, I know we hold Fish in such high esteem. They've never really played great festival sets, kind of known for that. And I think a lot of bands sometimes struggle with that. Sometimes the set is shorter than it should be. Goose luckily got a long time to play. But you want to pick and choose certain songs for certain reasons that aren't maybe always the reasons why you're picking them or putting them in a position in another show, in your own show, so to speak. So, I think that Hot Tea, when we were listening on the stream, I was even thinking in my head, it sounds like they're taking a little bit of time to lock into a groove on a song that normally Rick and Peter get right in to their solos and lock in on something very quickly. I could see that they were trying to find somewhere to go in that, and I think there was just a lot of motion after, finishing up at Asheville, coming in, loading in at 7, sound checking at 11, and then playing at 5:30. It just
I was sound check at 8:30.
Oh, 8:30. Oh my goodness, dude.
Yeah, no, they had they got out of Asheville 2:30 in the morning or something. Had a 4-hour drive. Sam King, tour manager, awesome tour manager, was telling me about the schedule. It just sounded I felt so bad for that crew, but man, they came in and ripped, and the crew's one of the best in the scene. So obviously they got it done.
Absolutely.
But then they go into Rockdale, which just, gives me all the feels. Absolutely love that song. I mean, every time I hear it, I think, why can't they just play more Visuto songs? that we saw at Fred. But I love Rockdale. It's obviously that's the Rick Vasuda song, man.
And now one has come out, and I mean, because of the reception of that song, that's why they've played it a lot since then. And God, they crush it. And dude, I mean, they always crush the jam. I love the song itself, but the best part of that song for me is that ending part where they come out of the jam, whatever kind of crazy shit they're doing, and then
you think it's over.
Very melodic singing portion, and then back into the chorus, and then back into the original riff, and then they close it out. And it's just the most epic ending every time. I really do. What a great song. What a great new song. And it'll be interesting. One thing I'll say is whether or not they can record that as a pseudo song or a Goose song, because they played it so much now as Goose. Only played it once as a pseudo. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was a really strong start. Like, make a statement coming out of the gates. Hunger Site, drop a new one on them. Why not?
Yeah.
I do feel like Hunger Site is like an arena rock song.
Because we saw it in an arena debut.
No, but I know.
You can see it though. You can hear it a little bit in the vibe.
Like for those of you who don't know what goes on behind the scenes, at the end of last fall, I started working on the press pitches and a lot of the writing around the album. And this, I started writing it before the original Goosemas in December. And I believe the language I used, if I recall correctly, was, that this song falls perfectly to accompany the band's ascendance, to arenas. And like it will arrive like just on the heels of their first arena show. And I really think that Hunger Site is like, let's get a room popping here for a little bit of dad rock vibe, but arena round. So seeing it mid Sweetwater set one, I love the song. Placement wise, I don't know if it was the right spot.
Yeah, I guess I didn't. The only reason I would is because I was saying to Joey before when you decided he didn't want to be a part of this conversation, but the hot tea, I felt like they were trying to find somewhere to go. I didn't think they found somewhere to lock in on really well until kind of midway through the Rockdale jam, and it got to kind of like an ambient spot. And it was cool, it was crisp, it sounded cool, and I was like, okay, now they finally locked in a little bit. And in Hunger Side, I thought, obviously it's a great song in and of itself. Then they kind of slow it down, and then they kind of get into a jam that just feels like a continuation of the song. And it just, again, it felt a little bit like maybe they're just still trying to figure out, find where they can lock in on something cool. And then I think they did. I'm kind of playing it out like that. It is high energy. It is a high energy jam. So no matter what, you're getting that out of it, which I always like. And you mentioned energy. I always just like energy throughout most of the show. And that song always brings it, but I think a lot of with this set, maybe that could have underwhelmed people. To some extent, it could happen in any show. It's just placement, and you're always trying to write a new set list and play songs at different places, try new things. I mean, everyone on the live music scene should know that, sometimes that this doesn't work, but that's part of the fun of it, so there's a lot of questions about some of that stuff. I thought it was, it was good, and almost looked like they were reaching for something to cap it off. And, maybe to that extent, they were feeling what you were saying, Greg, and then they played Moby, which I think is always a good choice. But it is kind of a slower song, and it's
a very smooth transition into Moby too.
It was.
So where you're like, oh, this like sounds familiar, and then all of a sudden like that Trevor, those bombs kick in, and it's unmistakable.
So sweet, yeah.
Oh yeah, they could. I mean, how long is it? It was 4.5 minutes according to Bandcamp.
Not long.
No, they could just sit on that riff for as long as they want. It just gets deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
So I think this is maybe the point that I'm trying to make here, and it's like, again, I thought it was a really good set. Like, I'm not in the camp of like, I wasn't happy with Sweetwater at all. I thought it was great. I thought they played well, but I think to have Rockdale, which like really has only emerged in the past year, catalog wise, and then Hunger Site, which is brand new, Moby, which like, we know you know, but probably a good listener, like I'm not buying an instrumental from the band that, you know, and then California Magic, Pancakes, and Silver Rising, which are all 2022 songs with a whole bunch of people who have not been digging deep into the most recent stuff, like the catalog on Nugs, but maybe have heard like Smoke and shows from 2019. I think that maybe some of the allure of the set, and also like all of these, with the exception of Rockdale, like the jams for California Magic, Pancakes, and Silver Rising are so exploratory. Like there's not conventional framework the way there is with the Creatures or a Tumble. And so I think for a set of this magnitude, we know that the guys were going out there and like digging in somewhere deep, going somewhere that they haven't gone before. And that takes balls. But, you know, it's not like 3 years ago when they had 60 minutes at a big festival and they were like, all right, we're going to do Tiamat on Tumble Arcadia. That's it.
That's what, literally, I was just about to compare it to See Here Now, which they had an hour, less than an hour. They played Yeti, Arcadia, Madhavan, Clouds, Empress. That's just hit. And I preferred this set at Sweetwater so much better as like, you know, the more dedicated fans who get into the new songs and like want to hear them more. Like I want to hear California Magic as much as possible. I want to hear Pancakes as much as possible right now because, you know, they went into Yeti and I was like, okay, like Yeti again. All right, let's have a dance party, which again, you know, it always sneaks up on me. I could talk about every single Peter song sneaks up on me and the jam is just like the guy writes such good jam vehicles. It's wild. But
you know, but and also besides the new song thing, which can always throw some people off, is the fact that you had Moby, which didn't ring in as a longer or an extended Moby. I'm not sure they've ever given that the proper jam treatment. They've extended it a bit, done some cool stuff with it. That was a fairly standard version of it. Yeti was a fairly standard version of Yeti. California Magic has, I feel like, clocked in at 9 minutes or somewhere about that every time they've played it. And then Pancakes is obviously, I think the point of that song is to set this weird vibe that song creates and to have an exploratory jam out of it, which is great. And I think our buddy Emax was on the chat before and he mentioned that was the jam of the show, you know, and I believe that. And
I agree. But
then you get Silver Rising again, which is, here's another 8-9 minute song. These are great songs. I think California Magic and Silver Rising are great songs. A lot of the new songs they've been writing, I'm very impressed with them. It's hard to keep new songs going that are good, that people like. But, you know, again, it's not even just that they're new songs or that they're good or bad. It's, you're getting a lot of songs, you know, and I know I've rolled my eyes at Fish shows sometimes where I'm getting like 10 songs in a set. And it just depends on the band and what you're playing, what you're doing, that a lot of times that might not matter. But I just think that's another reason that you could add to the pile of why there might have been some mixed reviews or mixed takes on it. You know, is also because you're getting a lot of songs, but it's a festival set. It's a festival set for 25 million people. And so in those cases, you know, you're going to want to give people a really good taste of what you're doing, where you're trying to go. And I think that's really was what the point of what they were trying to do at Sweetwater was.
So one part of Silver Rising that I will note, it like obviously Trey was up next at the main stage. So a lot of people were trying to time that right.
Yeah.
And Silver Rising came in and maybe 1 million out of that 25 million started to head over to the main stage, which for me 5%. Was great. I had so much more room to dance because then, you know, those people lost out on a sick Empress. So that's their own fault. Which, again,
short Empress, you know, only had a little limit.
Another short
14-minute Empress.
14,
yeah. But I mean, we were saying, it reminded me of Denver because, you know, again, a lot of this crowd was a pretty new crowd where they still knew all the words, they knew when to clap. You know, it had that feel of, you know, it's like absolutely a crowd favorite, Empress.
So Peter, I'm reading Peter's comment.
Peter's here?
So I know Peter Chase's comment.
Peter Chase.
But so Joey, you were there. We were not there. I was just sitting on my sofa, counting individually each person. 1 million, 2 million, 3 million.
Trying to win the gumball contest.
Yeah, like gas and check method, baby. So like, what was the vibe like? You know, during, because really, I mean, this entire set, it's like pretty new songs sandwiched between Hot Tea and right. Like,
Yeah.
Rockdale's pretty recognizable, but everything else is, you know, either pretty new or doesn't have lyrics. So what was the vibe like within the crowd? Like, what was the sound of 26 billion people clapping like?
So the amount of hands that went up as soon as as Pancakes started, as soon as Peter threw his hands up, everyone just started cheering because they go, okay, I know what song this is. So even though it's a new song, people were into, you know, Pancakes from the start. The vibe in general, people were getting down. People were dancing. I mean, you got to think they started at 5:30 on Saturday on a hot weekend in Georgia. Like I was exhausted. I was so tired by this point. So like, you know, people saw a lot of music the 2 days before. It was a hot day. You know, they're getting a little drained, but I mean, it didn't feel like that. You know, everyone was up. Nobody, I mean, obviously you're at a festival seeing one of the, you know, hottest bands at it. Like nobody's sitting down. You know, people were packed in tight. And I was about even with the front of house. Like we had a pretty good spot, like on the edge of the lawn. There was this pathway kind of going diagonal down the middle of the crowd. We were kind of on the edge of that path. And I looked behind me. I couldn't see the back of the crowd. Like it looked huge. And then the picture they put up as like the Nugs cover, like I didn't realize it was that many people. Like people who went to the side fences who were like, oh, I just want some shade and some room. Like they had no room. Like this place was absolutely
the entire world population was in Atlanta for the show. So I mean, talking 8.9 billion people.
And billions and billions.
You know, a lot of people said there were 26 million there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
a lot of people saying
it's the biggest hit in Sweetwater history.
You know,
interesting. There was far less chomping for any Goose set than any other band that Scott Stevenson saw. That's funny because if you ask anyone,
I thought
there
was a good amount of chomping around me, but the kids I'm thinking of were not there. Like they had no idea what they were seeing. Their friends did. Their friends who kept like ignoring them were into it and dancing as hard as they could. But I mean, that's it. You're going to get it at any show, especially a festival show where like people didn't necessarily pay a ticket to see this specific band. And it's a long day. You got to say, hey, I'm going to go grab water. Do you need anything? How you feeling? Whatever. So, you know. There you go.
Micmac. Micmac.
We didn't have the wrecking crew.
Yeah, right. We're here dissecting this. Maybe you should write better set lists, dog. So okay. Sweetwater, check it off the list. Regardless, a milestone performance for this band. Well deserved. Well, like, you know, hopefully they're back. Hopefully, they're on the main stage next time. Micmac, you know I love you, dog. So like, can't wait to see what happens when they get back. Maybe Snoop Dogg will be there next time, and me and Bruce will go.
I forgot he was supposed to be there.
Yeah, that's when my plans changed.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So
exactly. If Snoop's not there, I'm out. All right, so let's move on. Let's put on our blue suede shoes and board the train and touch down in the land of the Delta Blues in the middle of the pouring rain.
Oh my god!
Walking in Memphis.
I mean, that was where did that come from? That's better than the like Ronald McDonald joke that you made before, whatever.
Listen, man, sometimes you miss, and if it's me, then most of the time you do. So Memphis, Tennessee. That was a selection from Walking in Memphis by Mark Cohn. Yes, Walking in Memphis. None of us were there, unfortunately, but what a lineup. I mean, everyone from Goose to Weezer to Modest Mouse to Lil Wayne, you know.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Which, interesting factoid for those of you nerds listening, write it down.
Here we go.
Megan Thee Stallion has the same lawyer as Goose.
And that lawyer is actually head of Goose marketing, and that's why they're where they're at now. You know,
26 million lawyers. So Yeah, same lawyer. So it's funny. Well, same same firm. But I remember, after a show, talking to someone who works with, kind of bounces between both teams, Goose and Megan the Stallions. And they're like talking about whatever, some Goose contracts that have to get signed, and then also yesterday I negotiated Megan the Stallion's deal with Popeyes. So I'm like, all right, we gotta get
Goose on the Popeyes.
Yeah, we gotta get.
What are they doing?
Yeah,
I need spicy chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, just in time for Thanksgiving.
Goose
wings. Yeah,
I need a whole spicy turkey.
Fried goose coming this holiday season. So Beale Street, and here we go. Beale Streat, we want to talk about a big festival, huge festival. A lot of people were there, but this was like a play the hits type of a day. So open with Drive. Also, no live stream. We don't know what happened. The guys could have not been there.
We're just gonna fucking make shit up. That drive was probably sick. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was long and sick. Was
anybody at Beale Street in the
drive? Was actually it was only 7 minutes.
Short drive.
So
Sunday drive.
Sunday drive.
Man, this is a misinformation podcast. And then we get lead the way.
If anybody was in the chat was there, if anyone was in the chat was at Beale Street, because we literally know nothing. If anybody was there, I'll send you an invite to join us right now. Don't lie though.
Spicy chicken sandwich.
Section 119. Followed by following Drive was Lead the Way, which we can only assume was fantastic. A sweet emotional tribute to Rick's dog, Sadie.
Yeah, which actually, I want to tell a story. Some guy I met at Sweetwater, we were sitting waiting for the goose set. He told me his cat died that morning. I was like, oh, maybe you'll get a Lead the Way, like a little pet song, but
your cat died.
Oh, yes. Right.
Sorry, we're not on the fish episode anymore. Sorry.
Your cat died.
So following,
that would be so mean.
Depends on what the cat's name was, though. My cat, Poster Nutbang. So following Lead, we get a Green River, right?
Which I'm sure was fantastic.
Goose, CCR.
One of my favorite fucking covers that they've ever done, ever.
And I could have seen them doing a cover like this at Sweetwater, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, definitely. Although it felt in place in Memphis too. It's CCR being from Jersey had that southern twang, but it just felt like, it just felt.
Did we just lose Bruce?
Lost him.
Lost.
There's the revenge.
There it is, baby. All right, so lost Bruce. He was going to make a really good point. Look at that hand. Looks like he's about to say something important.
Getting ready to drop it down.
I'll just, I'll remove him from the broadcast for a moment.
So something I wanted to know. Yeah, no covers at Sweetwater too, which was interesting, right? I'm right about that, right? Yeah,
you're right about that.
I didn't even notice.
Avenue.
No, it's Sweetwater. I'm saying.
Oh, right. You're completely right.
Yeah, no, we're talking about a cover right now, Greg. Green River. Okay. But which I didn't even notice at the time or even the next day. I didn't even think about it until I saw this set list. I'm like, wait, another festival. Creedence cover. All right.
The good thing is that nothing I say is that important. My internet just dropped me here, and Florida was like, "You've said enough." Ron DeSantis was like, "Nah, you've said enough." But no, we back.
Well, unfortunately, there's a lot of things in Florida you can't say. So watch your mouth, or else we're gonna shut your resources off like Disney. But we should close this out before I start digging into the SCOTUS decisions.
We're not getting political tonight yet.
No, not today. So following Green River, Turn Clouds, which we know is good. It's on.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh.
It was fantastic. Followed by 2001.
with selections from Born.
And
that's the only repeat of the weekend, right? Born.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As well as the cover of 2001. And
Yes,
then
that's true.
All I Need, Greg's favorite.
Yep.
Yeah.
Goose song ever.
It's all he needs.
Yes. But even I would have been like pro All I Need at Sweetwater because like it's just, one of those wheelhouse ones. We didn't have a chance to listen, but does anyone know if it was a fast need, slow need, normal need, all I need? Who needs?
It literally was anybody at Beale Street, and we know there was a ton of people there, but
does Goose have any fans in Memphis?
It's crazy because literally the entire population of the world from the last 100 years, people were even bringing like coffins to the show at Sweetwater, but at Beale Street, it seemed like nobody was there, I guess, because we don't.
But I mean, there were people. I looked at the pictures. There were at least 15,000.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I didn't even bother to look at the pictures. I just figured everyone in the world was tired from being at the set the day before.
Oh no, it was the Beale deal for sure.
It was a slow All I Need.
It was a slow need. It was a slow need. Okay. All right.
Yes. They don't play the fast one unless it's Halloween, dude.
Rare.
You gotta get those bookends.
Never comes.
And then Electric Avenue, which I think they went like they segued into Electric Avenue, which is always nice to get that little bump, and then like all of a sudden, yeah,
that was the other part.
I was
kind of surprised. I was surprised to see Electric Avenue on the set list. To be honest, I figured some of these things that we've heard so many times in the past, Electric Avenue, Disco Inferno, Ghostbusters Jam. Some of these songs they're not making those appearances anymore, and
which is okay.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No. For some of the newer fans who like listen to those 2018, 2019 sets like nonstop, we want to hear them. We want I want so many goofy 80s covers, man.
Dude,
every little thing she does is magic. I've been dying, dude.
I was thinking about that the other day, though, but I can't wait for them to pull that out again. A lot of these things they're not stylistically where they're going, and so some of these campy covers are just not making the light of day anymore, but they have other good ones to replace them.
I don't see, but here's the thing, though. There's some stuff that makes Goose.
Oh, no doubt.
And
no fucking doubt.
And I think, like I've said this for years, like one of the most crucial parts about like the Playing in the Sand weekend was like getting those silver ponytails bopping to CCR, getting it going with like, I mean, even like, I've been in random corners of Ohio where, they're breaking to Kenny Loggins, and I see two like 55-year-old guys make eye contact and high five. And I'm like, are we about to go into the footloose dance scene? Is dancing outlawed in this county?
Welcome to the danger zone.
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, wow. It's like the house party version of the jam scene. If you know what I mean, I love you. But energy, Electric Avenue, So Ready, The Real Ready, and Arcadia. Like, come on.
I know. Honestly, it looks on paper like a really solid festival set for sure. Talking about how sometimes those are hard to nail, and Goose has had a lot of success with them. Goose's Sewanee set is still very well received. There's a bunch of highlights from that. And that was tough. They were in the rain too for that. This Beale Street set looked great. They've pulled so many people in from festivals over the years that you just kind of begin to expect different things from this band, where a lot of people expect most bands to not be playing like a let's go back and re-listen to 100 times kind of show from a festival. But sometimes they hit. And I think Goose has hit a lot. So then, people feel a little let down when it's not the most, the perfect thing that they envisioned. But I do think that Beale Street set looked a lot more along the lines of what I would expect from them at most festivals.
And a big boy. Scott Stevenson, there's nothing wrong with 50-year-old guys in Ohio high-fiving. I've high-fived a lot of 50-year-old guys in Ohio. But I'm just saying they tend to high-five more to Kenny Loggins as opposed to Silver Rising.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
You want to close it out there?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, we should have closed it out. Who knows how long ago? 20 plus minutes ago. But yeah, let's do it.
Yes. So, this is we obviously need to put our training wheels back on and figure out how to recap shows in an efficient way.
Well, we got to go to the shows. That's
giveaway. We got to do a giveaway.
Giveaway.
That's what everybody was waiting for. That's right.
That's the only reason they're here. Like, why are these people still listening?
Around. Yes.
Well, so Bruce,
Daniel, Ralph, you win. You win something already for reminding us.
Oh,
what
definitely.
that will be and when it will arrive.
A picture with the Bruce Robinson.
No, he doesn't need
Sunglass,
that.
shades on.
That's not a giveaway.
Arcadia hat forward.
Trash to throw away for you, and you could have just put it in the garbage yourself. But no, we have a giveaway. So I wasn't able to take pictures like normal. I've been jet setting. I'm an influencer, but Varvel Arts, who's been a huge supporter of the podcast and has hooked us up with some very cool stuff that we've given away already. This very cool black velvet print, steely print, image of Trevor engraved in wood as a Yeti. It's pretty fantastic. They've also given us a couple sets of Redbird earrings, a lady Redbird and a male Redbird. And I know I saw Varvel Arts on here before. They had the image up on their profile pic. I'm not sure if they're still in it, but I'm sure you can find that online. So we have earrings to give away in honor of them playing Redbird this weekend. That was going to be a big point of it. And then, and they've given me a lot of cool art stickers as well. And I'm sure we'll find something else to throw in there also. Oh, we had a drawstring bag. We have another drawstring bag. We gave away one last week. So take a look at that from Circus of Light. Scott Stevens is on here. Another huge supporter of us, of the band. Amy runs this company, a Circus of Light, where she actually takes pictures of lights that Getty has done and prints those out on clothing and on these awesome drawstring bags and a variety of different accessories. So check that stuff out. You can find her online. A lot of cool stuff. So we'll give away that bag as well with those earrings and stickers and maybe something else that we'll throw in there. So maybe a Knicks hat since they suck and not in the playoffs anymore. But I don't need it anymore. Maybe that. So that's what we're going to give away. And now here's Greg with, I'm sure, a very interesting trivia question.
Oh, it sure is. So back in summer 2016, Goose played a one-off festival. Never happened again due to several reasons after attending. They played this show in the summer 2016. I want you to tell me the old song that they closed set one with and the name of the festival.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be the name of the festival was going to be the question.
That would have been too easy.
Name of the festival and the last song of set one. You can win everything Bruce just mentioned.
Yeah, drawstring bag. So those Circus of Light, I believe it's like an image of Getty's lights, like you said, but like each item is like named after the song I think the picture was taken of.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, here's a Wisteria Lane sweatshirt or something. Like this is like it's from the lights during that song at a specific show that I'm sure they'll let you know what show it was as well.
I believe she usually includes some mention of it. And also that, these are images that she's taking in and playing with the patterns, and creating a pattern for the clothing or for these accessory items. The drawstring bags are awesome. Those ones that you can really fold up tight and, very compact, but can also fit quite a bit. These bags are really cool. I don't normally particularly use these drawstring bags at shows or festivals, but they're super convenient. You see people with them tons all the time. And hers are some of the coolest ones I've seen. Plus, they're pretty big. So you can fit a lot. So, you'll have that. You'll have the earrings. You give them to a loved one or significant other who wears them, whatever. You wear them yourself. They're pretty cool. And then the stickers are also very cool. Varvel Arts does a lot of cool psychedelic artwork. So you'll definitely get some flashy stuff in this prize pack. I don't know the answer to this.
So
I know the
there
festival.
are people barking up the right tree. What I need is the name of the festival and the last song of set one. The answers are near you.
Greg's questions have gotten harder, Daisy, because some of the early ones were very either easy or
There's
esoteric.
Not a correct answer quite yet.
Yeah, I think there's one answer. Peter,
There, Neil Landry, winner.
Oh, see Neil got the song first, then he saw the festival from Peter and just
So
smart.
Kalinsky guessed a rolling pin, it looks like, right? a lollipop? Is that a popsicle?
I think no, it's like fruit on the end of a toothpick that you put in like a nice summer cocktail.
it's a kebab.
It's
Yeah.
a kebab. But a fruit kebab.
Okay. Neil Landry is our winner. Peter Chase, you were so close. You got the festival right. I feel like you gave Neil a hint. So I will send you a second place prize. But a little story to close us out here. Rebirth Arts Festival, this one-off festival in Easton, Connecticut, on this farm. I don't know how it came together, but Goose played. It was free, and there was an open bar, all liquor, and there was an epic rainstorm. I remember like extension cords and puddles. I tiptoed around them towards the open bar, but it was like an epic evening. I don't know how it all worked. I understand why it probably didn't happen again. Although I
was gonna say
for it to happen again. I don't even know if the bar was actually open, but it certainly was for me. So glad that we have the internet to remind me of what the songs were that were played. Thank you guys all for joining us tonight and participating. Check out Elephant Proof next. To remind me. And you want to give up 80s covers? Come on now. So we have a new studio episode dropping next Wednesday, and a new studio episode dropping the Wednesday after that. We'll be back with Goose Day Tuesday live, nighttime edition, maybe daytime. Who knows? Once the guys are back on the road. But thank you all for joining us for another one. It's been a whole lot of fun.
Another one.
You want to roll us out, Joey? No, let's let Joey do it. Now that he's in the mix.
I don't know what to do. What are you talking about,
dude? You say the same shit.
That's not a real outro. This is live, man. The outro.
Same thing.
I don't have any music. All right.
You want me to do it?
Thank you. No. I can do it.
Okay. All
right. Let's go.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us at the Great Beyond. We appreciate it. We'll see you all out on the road. Next show's coming up. Westville. We'll talk about it a little bit as it gets closer, but we had a surprise last year. Just wait for our surprise this year.
That's right. We're going to plan.
Not that you'll ever see it, but it'll be there.
Might. That's the cliffhanger.
Might. Like episode 2, baby. All right. Later, guys.
The Great Beyond was recorded by Greg Knight from his apartment in Brooklyn, New York. It's a production of Osiris Media with Brian Brinkman and Matt Dwyer. Big shout out to our manager, Kathleen Knight. Enjoy Mexico, dear. Be sure to catch a ride with us.
And our guests, Elephant Proof.
And our guests, Elephant Proof.
Thank them.
Take it away.
Well, there you go. Now Joey wants to do the outro.
There's an outro. Well, all right. Fine.
The Great Beyond.
Be sure to catch right with us next time. Next time. Great Beyond.
The Great Beyond.
Osiris.